In this lesson, I will show you how you can offset and mirror objects in Solidworks. You can offset objects if you activate the Offset Entities tool, which can be found in the Sketch ribbon. Once I activate the tool, the Property Manager palette activates automatically. In the Distance field, I can specify the distance between the original object and the object which was created with the Offset tool. I will type the number 8 in this field and I will select the first line. Once I selected the line, a preview appeared automatically. If I want to create the new object in the other direction, I have to simply activate the reverse option. Notice that now the preview appears on the other side of the line. If I want to offset the line in both sides, I have to activate the bidirectional option. Once I activate this option, the preview changes accordingly. Now, an interesting feature is that I can convert either the original shape or the shapes I created with the Offset tool in construction geometries. If I activate the base geometry, then the original line will be converted to a construction line. If I activate the Offset geometry, the shapes that are created with the Offset tool will be converted into construction geometries. In this example, I will convert the original line into a construction line, so I will activate the base geometry option. Last but not least, with the Add Dimensions option active, the distance between the original shape and the shape which created with the Offset tool will be visible after I deactivate the tool. In this way, I can edit the distance between the original shape and the shapes I created with the Offset tool even after I have deactivated the tool. So I will activate this option and I will click on the check mark to offset the line. The tool deactivates and we can see the final result. Since I had activated the Add Dimensions option, now I can double-click on the distance between the shapes and change it. In this example, I won't change those distances and I will move on to the next example. So I will activate the Offset Entities tool again, and in the Distance field, I will type the number 12. Then I will select the arc. Now I will go to the options below the Distance field and I will activate the Add Dimensions and the Cap Ends options. With the Cap Ends option, Solidworks connects the original shape and the shape that will be created with the offset with two arcs or two lines, creating a closed loop. You can specify if the shapes will be connected with lines or arcs from the two available options below the Cap Ends option. Notice the change when I activate the Lines option. Now I will click on the check mark to deactivate the tool. For the next example, I will activate the Offset Entities tool once again. I will type in the Distance field the number 6 and I will deactivate the Cap Ends option. I will select a side of the hexagon and notice that Solidworks offsets only this side. I will also select the first linear segment of the curve on the right and notice that again Solidworks offsets only the selected segment. In case I want to offset the entire hexagon or the entire curve, I have to activate the Select Chain option. Once this option is active, Solidworks offsets automatically the entire chain of lines. Since this is the desired result, I will click on the check mark to deactivate the tool. Now let's move on to the next tool, which is the Mirror tool. Now let's move on to the next tool, which is the Mirror Entities tool. With this tool, you can create symmetrical objects. In this example, I have already created a circle and a line. Now I want to create a symmetrical line on the bottom side of the circle. Before I activate the Mirror Entities tool, I have to create the axis of symmetry. So I will activate the Line tool and I will create a horizontal line starting from the circle center. Once I create the line, I will press Escape to deactivate the tool. Since this line will be the axis of symmetry, which means that it is not part of the main shape, I will select this line and I will activate the For Construction option, which can be found in the Property Manager palette. I can restore the line if I simply deactivate this option. Now I will deselect this line, and since I created the axis of symmetry, I will activate the Mirror Entities tool from the sketch ribbon. Once I activated the tool, the Property Manager palette activated automatically. With the Entities to Mirror field active, I will select the line I want to mirror. In this case, I want the Copy option active because I do not want the original line to be deleted. Next, I will click in the Mirror About field and I will select the axis of symmetry. Once I select the axis of symmetry, I will click on the check mark to deactivate the tool. Now I want to create the symmetrical object of the existing object. So I have to create another axis of symmetry. To do that, I will activate the Line tool again and I will create a vertical line which will connect the endpoints of the sloped lines. Again, I will select this line and I will activate the For Construction option from the Property Manager palette. I will deselect the line and I will activate the Mirror Entities tool one more time. With the Entities to Mirror field active, I will select all the objects that I want to mirror. Again, the Copy option must remain active. Then I will click on the Mirror About field and I will select the vertical line I created to specify the axis of symmetry. Once the preview appears and I am sure that this is the desired result, I will click on the check mark to deactivate the tool. Now notice the final result. Before we finish the lesson, I should mention that construction lines do not affect the 3D modeling, which means that they are not taken into consideration when you extrude a closed profile to create a solid object. So that was how you can offset and mirror objects in Solidworks. Now you can use those tools to create your own objects.